How's the show going? Good? Good. Oh, you're just saying that because I'm in it. It's okay. You don't have to be nice. So we have our next comic up. It's Derek Robertson. He produces the show. And here he is. So everyone welcome.
So it finally happened. The airline lost my luggage the other day, which sucks. Or as they explained to me, they didn't lose my luggage. It was just temporarily delayed. Temporarily delayed. It sounds like my luggage was gonna join me in Toronto, but then something more important came up. It'll get with me as soon as possible. You always have that fear, though, don't you, of losing your luggage? I think that's why the baggage carousel is such an intense place. You know, you have that crowd of people all gathered around that circular conveyor belt. It's almost like roulette. You know, everyone's waiting there in nervous anticipation. Come on, green duffel bag. Come on, green duffel bag. Everyone groans as some other bag comes down the chute. One lucky jerk doing his little victory dance over in the corner. It's intense. And I find, as time goes by, I start to get a little paranoid. I start questioning everyone around me. I start being convinced that someone's going to take my luggage. But at that point, I'm not even really sure what my suitcase looked like. I start wondering if I ever knew. I mean, I think it was green, but maybe it was the lighting in the room. Maybe it was gray. Oh, well, I know it was heavy. It was definitely heavy. So that must mean that it's big, right? Okay. Well, it's got wheels. I know it's got wheels. I'm looking for maybe a green or a gray suitcase with wheels. Oh, great. They all have wheels. Eventually, you just snap, don't you? You just want to grab any bag. It doesn't matter if it's your bag. Just any bag, so you can get out of there. And besides, it makes life more exciting. It becomes like Christmas. You never know what you're gonna get. String bikini. Lookout beach. So when I ask a woman out, and she says to me, Derek, you're like a brother, is she saying it would be a crime to be with me? As I've been said, my name is Derek Robertson. But don't go looking for me at derekrobertson.com. Apparently some nature photographer beat me to that one. Which sucks, you know, because it seems like nowadays everybody's buying up their own domain name, you know, to post their blogs or their podcasts or pictures of their cats. But me, apparently I'm ill-equipped for the 21st century. And it sucks. When I have kids, though, I will not let this happen to them. I've thought up an idea. I'm going to name my kid based on domain name availability. Now, I'm not really going to do that. That's ridiculous. Have you seen the price of some of these web addresses? I'm going to name them after the cheapest domain name. Yep, good old earmuffrobertson.com. I love that little scamp. Do you think there's such a thing as an agoraphobic homeless person? Every so often, the news channels always feel like they have to run these stories, you know, about how can we keep our 8, 9, 10-year-old kids safe on the internet. And when I hear these stories, my first thought is never, yes, Anderson Cooper, how can we keep those kids safe? My first thought is always, great, they already know how to use the internet. 5 years, there goes our job security. Because they have such a head start on us. You know, when I was in the airport the other day, I saw preteens on their own laptops. You want to know what kind of laptop I had when I was 8 years old? It was called Lite Bright. I stuck plastic freaking pegs into a board, and beautiful pictures came to life. these kids these days they're a little too ambitious. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I wasn't ambitious enough when I was a kid. Because, I'll be honest, my only goal when I was a kid, my only goal in life was to own one of those Power Wheels electric cars. You know the ones, you know, that sweet ride that can get up to 2.5 miles per hour. That ATV that could handle any terrain, whether it be grass or sidewalk or more sidewalk. Do you think when people say to someone, he's a real smart cookie, it makes pies feel bad? You know who I'd like to meet? I'd like to meet the guy who invented the drinking straw. Because I'm lazy. But this guy said, you want me to do this every time I want a beverage? I don't think so. So he invented the straw. Which is probably the laziest of lazy inventions, except that somebody managed to top him. They were using the straw one day, and they said, wait a second, I have to tilt my head to use this thing? What am I, a triathlete? I think it's time to invent the bendy straw. You know, scientists say that the universe and everything in it is continually expanding, which has me pretty excited, because to my way of thinking, this means that soon the walk from my house to my car will make up for the fact I no longer exercise. I did join a gym once, years ago. I joined a gym, and it wasn't really for the reasons that most people join a gym, you know. It wasn't to keep fit or be healthy. I'll level with you, it was actually because I had the theory that this might actually be a good place to meet an attractive woman. Except that, as it turns out, it's tough to impress a woman when each and every one of them is more fit than you. So, what are you lifting there? 150? Oh yeah, very, very nice, very nice. Me? Oh no, no pumping iron for me today. I might have torn a muscle lifting my bag in from the car. If you don't want to join a gym now, they have all these fancy exercise equipment that you can get for your home. And it's not like, you know, before when you can just get like the treadmill or the bike or whatever. You know, now they have these things that can transform into several different exercises, like the 5-in-1 thigh toner or whatever. And I don't know about you, but I don't really need 5 different exercises. I'll settle for the 2-in-1. On the first day I'll buy it, I use it to tone my thighs. On the second day, and maybe the next 20 years, I'll convert it into a coffee table. I think that guys with mutton chops are beard lovers with commitment issues. I guess I'm alone on that one. I want to know why it is that whenever it rains, I'm always standing near the guy who feels the need to look out the window, then turn back and say, oh, it'll blow over. Really? Well, thank you, Mr. Meteorologist. Here I was thinking maybe it would rain and rain forever. But if you say it'll blow over, I guess I'll hold off building my ark. People say strange things. You know, I've been in a number of relationships where the woman understandably felt the need to break up with me. And, but during the breakup, they felt the need to say something I didn't understand. They said, let's still be friends. Now, let me break down this logic for you. You can't stand me. I drive you absolutely crazy. Every time we talk, we fight. So you thought, let's cut out the kissing, the cuddling, the sex, and let's keep the talking. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds to me like if you were kidnapped, tortured, then released, and you turned back to your captor and said, hey, why don't we keep in touch? Do you think an atheist can suffer from a God complex? And if they did, would they stop believing in themselves? I dated this girl once, years ago, and in the middle of our relationship, she found religion. I think it was between 2 couch cushions next to some Subway tokens. She found religion, and you know, there was no big deal. It wasn't really any big deal. I guess it was kind of awkward sometimes, you know. In the middle of making out, she'd interrupt the makeout session to hold a prayer circle, asking God to guide her to the big O. But otherwise, you know, no big deal. Until one day, in all honesty, she called me up and she said that God had spoken to her and that he said she should break up with me. God had told her to break up with me. Now, I'm not sure where you all turned for relationship advice, but my first choice isn't the man who sexlessly impregnated a married woman. God told me to break up with you. That's like the ultimate breakup line, right? Because what can you say to that? How can you defend yourself? What can you do? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. Go down to your neighbor's lawn, light his garden on fire, then go across the street and tell her the burning bush said we should get back together. Folks, that's it for me. You've all been really great. Before I go, I'll leave you with one other thing that I've learned. Turns out a jury of 12-year peers will often frown on you burning another man's toe carriers. Anyways, thank you.